President Joe Biden will give a primetime farewell speech tonight, live from the Oval Office. Joining us now with the significance of the speech, particularly for President Biden, is North Central College professor Stephen Caliendo, political science professor, I might add. So this morning, Professor, Biden released a portion of the speech saying, and I quote here, "It has been the privilege of my life to serve this nation for over 50 years. This speech will very much be focused on his legacy." What topics do you anticipate he'll discuss?
Thanks, Natalie. It's nice to see you, too. Look, I think anytime a president is outgoing and gives one of these farewell addresses, it always has a somewhat of a defensive tone about their legacy. And I think legacy as president specifically, and I think that's going to be that's all the more the case when they've lost an election, which is the situation that we have now. But as you just mentioned, had Joe Biden not become president, he still would have been an icon in not only Democratic politics, but American politics, because he served for so long in various capacities. And so I'm interested to learn tonight what the balance is going to be in his remarks, the 4 years that he was president, compared to the 50-so years that he served in other capacities.
Great point on that. And Vice President Kamala Harris left her supporters with the word fight. She used it several times in her concession speech. Do you think the president will use that same tone, urging supporters to push back against President Trump's policies?
I don't know that this is the place for it. He's going to be speaking from the Oval Office. This is a very formal address. He may do that, or he may suggest it. I know that it will at least come in the context of him explaining why he got into the race in the first place, the last race, that is the race he won in 2020. But we're not going to know how to think about President Biden's legacy really until many years down the road. He may be the last bastion of a certain type of politics that seems to be changing. Your last segment talked about yesterday's Hegseth nomination hearings, and it's very different. It's a different kind of politics now. If that persists, we may think differently about Joe Biden in the future.
And can you talk about the significance of the president using the Oval Office for his speech and doing it live? Because we know that President Obama gave his farewell speech right here in the city of Chicago. President Trump gave a taped speech in the Blue Room.
Yeah, lots of different ways to do this. And what I will tell you, Natalie, is that context matters. The situation, the historical context matters, but also the physical context in which the outgoing president, is speaking matters. And so the choice of the Oval Office suggests that there's a weight to the presidency and importance of this office. And I think that is a subtle reminder, to your point earlier, in terms about how Americans should react to the next administration, about the legacy and the importance of the United States presidency. And the suggestion, I think, of him being there is that needs to be preserved.